Hey guys, how's everyone doing? It's me, Spirit Star City, and today we're back again with the third episode of this month, March 2017. And you know what? I'm just so proud of myself that I have actually been able to make this a weekly thing for almost 2 months now, because we have actually almost reached our second artist of the month, and I'm actually going to be putting that together, putting together the poll later this week, probably tomorrow. Actually, I'll probably start working on that and start putting the poll together and like putting it out there for people to start voting. And I'm just so proud of myself that I have been able to keep this up for almost 2 weeks now. I know it's probably not that big of a deal for a lot of people, since not a lot of people watch these anyway, but for me this is actually a really big deal because it gives me something to do, and it gives me a sense of accomplishment, like I've done something. And also I really love connecting with other artists and looking at artwork and sort of talking about artwork. Well, not necessarily talking about artwork, because I'm really bad at talking about things, or really just anything, really. To be honest, I really shouldn't be doing this. Like, I'm probably like the least likely person to be doing anything on YouTube, because I'm just so extremely bad at like explaining things, talking about things, carrying on like conversations or anything like that. So the fact that I am actually doing anything on YouTube is just a complete and total just paradox. And you know what? I'm actually okay with that. You know, it gives me something to do, and I'm okay with that. So anyway, we have our first piece, which was actually done by a friend of mine, Cookie Crafter 00. This is a self-portrait that they did of themselves, and this is a really nice self-portrait. You know, I think this is interesting. They have a pretty unique style. To be honest, they have kind of like a random taste in art. And what I mean by that is they're sort of like me. They experiment with a lot of things. So they don't like specifically have like a certain, type of something like on their DeviantArt page. They don't just have like digital art. They have like drawings that they do, and like, I don't know, other stuff that they do that I can't really explain right now. It's a pretty creatively random, fun, just atmosphere to it, and they're not really bound by like any one style. They're just sort of playing with it. So I think this is interesting about this artist. Also, they're one of my friends on DeviantArt, and I just thought that I would feature one of their artworks on this week's episode. Anyway, next up we have an Undertale fan art. Actually, it's called CrisisTale Undyne. And as we can see, for those of us who are familiar with Undertale, we have a drawing of Undyne. And if you aren't familiar with Undertale, then you know what, I can't even imagine what this must look like to you. But if you aren't familiar with Undertale, then boy, buddy, are you missing out. I'm just joking. Seriously though, if you're not into Undertale, just go look up some animations for it. It's a really great game, but to be honest, the game isn't the thing that interests me most, about Undertale. To be honest, it's really more just the story that interests me most. Like, the story is the thing that really speaks to me the most. The gameplay, I've watched gameplays and complete just playthroughs of the entire game, and they've been really interesting, but to be honest, it's more the story behind it, of like what's really happening, that really just sparks interest in me. So I really like this piece, of course, because it's Undertale fan art, and also the colors are really vibrant here, especially with the hair. I love what's going on with the hair. It's really detailed. It looks so real, like it has like this real feel to it, like it's almost like 3D. And I just really like this. I'm not that good when it comes to drawing things, but you know what, maybe one day my art will be that good where I can just pick up like a pencil or a colored pencil or something, and I can just be that good. But who knows? I can still dream, I guess. I don't know. Next up we have a traditional art piece titled Real Raccoon. And of course, this appears to be a painting of a raccoon. And I really like this. I actually have one of these guys living above my room right now. And I live in kind of an old house, so I actually have a raccoon that lives above my house. And this is actually what it reminded me of. Like one of the raccoons living above my house. I've never seen them before, the ones that live above my room, but I have seen one of their paws before. Like there's like a hole in like the insulation above, like in my room, and like the ceiling, but it's only like the boards that are left now. It's a pretty big hole, and one of them is like loose. And I remember one day, like I was just sitting on my bed. And I just, they were making some noise, above that hole. And then all of a sudden, this out of nowhere, like I just see this paw just like reach through this like loose board in the ceiling. And to be honest, looking back on it, it was so hilarious. Like I was like so freaked out by it. And it was just a really just so incredibly unexpected thing to happen. I had no idea, because normally they make a lot of noise and I can just brush it off. But the fact that they actually reached their paw into my like bedroom was like really something to experience. So hopefully this isn't something that happens to everyone. I actually gave them a name. They've been up there a while. They've been living up there. I don't know if it's like one raccoon living above my room or if it's like a family of raccoons. I think it's like more than one. But as far as I can tell, I know there is at least one raccoon living above my room. And normally, I don't know if I should be admitting all this, but you know what? I don't really care. I don't care if people know that I have a raccoon living above my room, or the fact that I even named possibly one or two of those raccoons living above my room. So, yeah. Anyway, we have another traditional art piece. It's titled Fly. And this is a traditional art piece, as we can see. Well, it actually sort of looks like digital. This actually looks a little digital, but either way, regardless if it's traditional or digital, but it's traditional, by the way. This is a really amazing, this art piece. I'm always a really big fan of the colors that people use whenever they start doing things like this. Like whenever people start doing abstract and just so extremely just colorful just paintings. Like I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of colors, especially when people start using a bunch of colors at the same time and somehow manage to sort of like bring them all together without making it look like a complete and total mess. Because that's something that I do a lot whenever I start trying to bring a bunch of colors together. Oftentimes what happens is like when I start experimenting with something like that, like I will start experimenting with just putting a bunch of colors together, and then I'll just make it a complete mess, and it won't look too good. It won't look anything like this. But I really like this. Like it's like this bird, like this black bird, and it's flying out of all these colors. I don't know if there's like some kind of meaning behind it, but I really love this. Like it has a very extreme, just happy and just positive and just upbeat feel to it. And next up, we have our final artist of the week for this month of March, and it is actually a photography piece. I haven't featured a photography piece on this series at all, like since I've started. So this is a first, and it's actually titled Daphne and Kitty, except I believe "and" is spelled wrong. There's like an U instead of an A, and I don't know if that's on purpose or if that's on accident. But I just thought that I would note that because I had no idea how to pronounce that. And here is pretty much like the photo right here, and this is a really beautiful photo. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan of photography. Well, I'm a fan of all art. I dabble. I try a little bit of everything. And photography, of course, is one of those things. And I'm definitely not that good to be able to take a picture like that. This looks like something that's like really advanced. Definitely beyond my capabilities when it comes to photography. And my favorite part of this is the lighting that's coming from like the sun. This looks like it was taken about like midday, about sunset maybe, and the glowing effect that's happening behind these two animals, it's beautiful. It's so radiating, and it's just so amazing. It's unexplainable. And as we can see, we have a dog and a cat here. They look like they're friends. And this kind of makes you think a little bit, like there's some sort of meaning behind here. I can't really put into words what this could be saying, because I actually mentioned this in the blog post that I wrote about it, that like I think I said something like a photograph is like worth 1,000 words, and for me to possibly try to summarize 1,000 words that this photograph is trying to say would be a little redundant to the photograph and the photographer, because I just can't do it. So it's better to just sort of admire this photo rather than just to listen to me explain it. So I hope everyone else likes this photography art that I featured. I know it's not the normal art that I have typically featured in an episode of the Starting to Wonder series. But the thing is, when I started this series, I intended it to be something for all art, and I've actually been looking for photography art to feature on the Starting to Wonder series, just to sort of show everyone that, hey, this is a series where all art is welcome to be featured, whether it's ceramic or something, photography, sculpture, painting, or whatever it is. I don't know, fill in the blank. This is a place for all art to be talked about and featured and really admired. And I actually didn't find this picture. This picture was actually suggested to me by someone else, and I really appreciate it. So a big thank you to the person that suggested it to me. I actually probably would never have found this just on my own. And also a big thank you to the photographer for letting me use this photo in this episode and featuring it for the Spirit Star City Artist of the Week. So here we go. We are at the end of the video. As we can see, we have the end card here, and we have made it through another one of these episodes of the Starting to Wonder series. I'm always really nervous when I go into one of these episodes, because I'm not gonna lie, it takes me several tries. It takes me a long time to do one episode, because oftentimes what happens is, like, I'll start an episode and then I'll have to keep like starting over. And I don't know why, but it's just like this thing that I have where I just have to get it right. But this time I just tried, I have been trying a lot lately to just sort of go through it, not really planning anything, because like I don't write scripts for these episodes. I've never written a script for one of these Starting to Wonder episodes. I've always just done it by just what feels right. Like I'll see a piece of art, like we'll get to an art piece, and I'll just start asking myself things like, what really stands out to me the most about this piece, and then I'll try to hone in on whatever it is whatever aspect of it really stands out to me, and I'll just try talking about that. And mostly, if it's something I can relate to, I'll try to talk about that. So I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Those of you who stuck around until the very end, big thank you. I really appreciate that. And I hope everyone will be able to join me next week for the Artist of the Month special. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think, a thing that I want to mention is I actually never vote for the Artist of the Month. I always leave it up to the voters and all the viewers out there, people who are interested in this. I leave it up to everyone else to vote, because I honestly can never pick between any of our previous Artist of the Week to be voted for Artist of the Month. I just can't do it. Like, I love all of these pieces just way too much, and there's just no way I could bring myself to choose one over the other. So I always leave it to everyone else to vote for Artist of the Month. So thank you all for joining me for this episode. I know it was a little bit different. I'm sure it wasn't my best performance, but you know what? The people who stick around anyway, I really appreciate that. The people who just, for some reason, just really enjoy just listening to me just ramble on and on. So thank you for that, and I will hope. Crap, I almost got off perfect. Well, as perfect as I can get one of these episodes. Okay, let me start over. Well, not completely over. I'm not gonna start like from the beginning or anything. Thank you all for watching this video, and I hope I will see you all next time. Bye now.